So, weekend learning with Transit. My name is Bola Mensah. I'm a certified human resource professional, an accredited management trainer, and a project management professional. I am your instructor. Today we are starting episode 1 of series 2, the Team Leader Edge. In series 1, we talked about becoming the most effective version of yourself as a professional, the effective worker. We looked at the habits, the communication, the time, and how to build professional reputation. And we call that the foundation. Today, we are looking at something very important, making the shift from doing to leading. Basically, we are building on the foundation in series 1. Because at some point in your career, being effective at your job is no longer enough. The organization looks at you and says, we need you to lead others now. And that is where a very specific challenge begins. Because you need to make the shift from doing your work excellently to making others do their work excellently and effectively. So how do you make that shift? So you don't have the challenge that some newly promoted leader are having. So let me tell you about Emeka. What was Emeka like before he was promoted? Emeka was the best analyst in his department. His reports were the ones directors quoted in meetings. His turnaround time was faster than anyone else on the team. When there's a complex assignment, Emeka was the one who got it done correctly. Then he was promoted to a team leader. 6 months later, his director called him for a difficult conversation. What was the problem? The team output had dropped. 2 team members had raised concerns about being micromanaged. Emeka was working harder than ever, but producing less compared to when he was an individual contributor doing things all by himself. What was the issue with Emeka after being promoted? Emeka was doing the work himself rather than through his team. He didn't make that shift that he needed desperately from being an excellent individual contributor to an excellent team leader. That shift is what we are looking at today. So this episode is about that shift that will make you an excellent contributor. And when you now become a team lead, you will still be excellent. Your result will not drop. Your standard will not drop, rather. So this episode is about that shift, what it means, why it is hard, and exactly what you need to do differently starting from this week. And this is the fundamental shift you need to make. You need to know that It is not a promotion, it's a transformation. It's from doing to leading. A promotion changes your title and your pay grade, your salary. On the other hand, a transformation changes how you think about your role, how you measure your success, and where you put your best energy every day. As an individual contributor, your value is measured by what you produce personally, which includes the quality of your report, the speed of your delivery, the accuracy of your analysis. In the case of Emeka that we're talking about, this means that your output is your contribution. But as a leader, your value is measured by what your team produces, what you enable others to produce, not what you produce personally. This is the shift we are talking about. And it requires letting go of something most high performers find difficult to release. The identity of being the best person in the room at work. Most high performers, they find it difficult to let go, to release it. And so they are not able to do well as a leader compared to when they were individual contributor. So I want you to know that when you become a team leader, you are no longer the player. You are now the coach. And a coach who keeps running into the field to take the shot is not coaching. Rather, what you are doing is that you are undermining the very team you are supposed to be developing. This is because the role of a coach is to help people grow so they can succeed without you always guiding them. So in practical terms, this means that a leader teaches people how to do things, not just doing it for them. A leader asks good questions to help the team members think and find solutions. A leader gives feedback that improves performance. A leader encourages and supports growth, especially when they struggle, when your team members are struggling. You encourage them and you support, and in the process, they will keep growing. A leader builds confidence and independence so people can lead better on their own. So coaching is not about controlling people. It's about developing their ability to think, act, and lead well. So I want you to pause now and reflect. And I want you to be honest with yourself before we go further. If you are currently leading a team, or if you are preparing to step into a leadership role, please ask yourself these 3 questions honestly. When something goes wrong, is your first instinct to fix it yourself or to develop the person responsible for it to fix it? When you have a strong opinion on how something should be done, do you allow your team to find their own way? At the end of a typical week, are you measuring success by what you produce or by what you enable your team to produce? If your answers reveal that you are still operating as an individual contributor, that means you are still doing. I'm not criticizing you. The diagnosis is that you are not a good team lead. And as we all know, diagnosis is the beginning of change. So I hope that as we go through this episode, with what you will learn, you'll be able to begin that change process. So why is this shift hard. You were good, exceptional. That's why you were promoted. So why are you finding this difficult? Why will a maker performance drop? But I want you to know that even the best, most capable people, they find this transition difficult for the following reasons. Because if you don't take some intentional actions, everything that made you successful before can now work against you. So let's look at 4 reasons why this shift is difficult. But it is not impossible. Reason number 1, competence is comfortable. When you were promoted rather because you were excellent at the job or the work. So that excellence felt good. Doing well gave you confidence and recognition. That's why you were promoted. So stepping back from the work to let others do it, which most times they do it imperfectly at first, feels like a loss to most high performers. It feels less productive, it feels uncomfortable. But I want you to know that in this discomfort is where growth will actually come out from. If you play your role well as a coach. So you need a little more patience to ask the people the question, to guide them and let them do it. Reason number 2, letting go feels like losing control. High performers often have high standards. When a team member does the work differently or more slowly or at a lower initial standard, the instinct is to take over. But taking over has a cost. The team member never develops. They become dependent, and you, the leader, you become a bottleneck rather than a multiplier. So you must let go of controlling, of wanting it must be done. Coach them to do it the way it's supposed to be done. Reason number 3, relationships change. In many settings, especially in Nigeria, Africa, team leaders are often promoted from within the same team. So your colleague yesterday is your direct report today. The social dynamics shift. Some colleagues become resentful. Others, they test the boundaries. They want to see. So we were together yesterday. Is it because he has been promoted? So navigating this with wisdom and without either over familiarity or unnecessary distance is one of the most delicate challenges of early leadership as a team lead. Reason number 4, nobody taught you how. Most new leaders are promoted with zero preparation for leadership. The assumption is that being excellent at the work is sufficient training for leading others. But that's not the case. That's not the truth. It is not. Leading people is a separate skill set. And the absence of deliberate preparation is why many talented professionals struggle in their first leadership roles. Now, we're looking at the shift now. So as a new promoted team leader or a team leader, your new daily scorecard must change. So one of the most practical things you can do to accelerate this shift is to change what you measure at the end of each day and each week. As an individual contributor, your scorecard looks like this. Did I complete my tasks? Did I meet my deadline? Was my work to the required standard? But as a team leader, your scorecard needs to look like this. Did each member of my team know what was expected of them today? Did I remove any bottlenecks that were slowing my team down? Did I have at least one meaningful conversation with a team member? Did I give at least one piece of clear, specific feedback today? Did I make my decisions my team needed? Did I make any decision rather my team needed in order to move forward? These 5 questions are your new daily scorecard as a leader. They shift your focus from your own output to your team ability to deliver. And over time, answering yes to these 5 questions consistently will produce better results than any individual contribution you could ever make. Any individual contribution you could have made maybe in the last 1 year, 2 years. No, if you keep asking yourself these 5 questions consistently, you will do better compared to when you were an individual contributor. So let's continue with our story. Remember Emeka? So 3 months after that difficult conversation with his director, something changed. Emeka's mentor gave him one piece of advice that reframed everything. He said, Emeka, your job is no longer to be the best analyst in the room. Your job is to produce a team of excellent analysts. So every hour you spend doing the analysis yourself is an hour you are not investing in the people who should be doing it. Emeka sat with that for a long time. Then he made one deliberate change. He stopped picking up the task that belongs to his team members. Instead, he started sitting with them as they work, asking questions, explaining his thinking, letting them struggle a little, then coaching them through the struggle rather than solving it for them. It was slower at first. His instinct to take over, scream at him every day. But within 8 weeks, something shifted. His team started producing work that surprised Emeka himself. One analyst produced a report that Emeka himself admitted was better structured than his own. Another team member flagged a risk in a data set that Emeka had almost missed. Emeka had not become less valuable. He had become valuable in a completely different and more powerful way because he has made the shift. So I want us to look at 5 behaviors of leaders who made that shift. 5 specific behaviors that distinguish leaders who made that shift successfully from those who remain stuck as individual contributors with titles. 1. Behavior number 1, delegate with intent. They delegate with intent, not desperation. They assign work deliberately, matching the tasks to development opportunities, not just to whoever is available. They brief the person clearly, they set expectations and follow up without taking over. Behavior number 2, they ask more questions than they give answers. When a team member brings a problem, the instinct is to solve it. However, the effective leader resists this. Instead, they ask, what do you think the options are? What will you recommend? This develops the team members' thinking rather than replacing it. Behavior number 3, they made their thinking visible. Rather than just producing output, they explain how they think. They show their team members the reasoning behind decisions. This is how knowledge transfers from leader to team. Behavior number 4 rather, they protect their team time and focus. Effective leaders shield their team from unnecessary interruptions, pointless meetings, and requests that do not connect to the team priorities. This is one of the most valuable and most underused leadership behaviors. And lastly, behavior number 5, for those who made the shift, they celebrated team output over personal contribution. When the team succeed, they credit the team. When something goes wrong, they own it as the leader. This is not a weakness. It is the behavior that builds team loyalty and psychological safety faster than anything else. So let's look at a word. Let's just look at leading former colleagues or peers. Remember, I said that most leaders are promoted from within. So I want to address something that does not get enough attention in leadership development conversations. Most team leaders, of course, like I said, are promoted from within the team. So yesterday you were sitting alongside with your colleagues. Today, you are their supervisor. This transition carries specific tensions that needs to be handled with wisdom on your side. Some colleagues, they will test you. They will push boundary to see if the friendship changes how you respond to underperformance or standard bridges. So because you are friends, are you going to overlook their underperformance, or you will not talk to them because they are your friends? So they will test you. They will push the boundaries. Your response in those early moments will define your credibility as a leader for a long time. I need you to know that. Secondly, some colleagues will withdraw. The relationship changes and they may become formal or distant where they were previously warm with you. This is not a reflection of your leadership, please. So don't beat yourself. It's a normal social adjustment that usually settles over time. Some colleagues will try to use the old relationship to bypass processes. They will come to you informally and expect decision or exceptions that will not be given to someone they did not know before your promotion. How do you navigate all of this? Number 1, and most important, with consistency. The same standard for everyone. With consistency. Apply the same standard for everyone. Deliver with respect. Deliver that standard with respect, not harshness, but clarity. You do not have to choose between being respected and being warm. You want to keep your friendship so they can do anything and they get away with it. The best leaders, they do both, respect and being warm. Respect boundaries, and you are still friends, so friendly with them. But if you have to choose in a specific moment, please choose to be respected. Because warm without credibility is familiarity. And credibility without warm. Sorry, I take my word again. I missed that out. Warm without credibility is familiarity. But credibility with warm is leadership. So maintain respect for your position and still be friendly. That's what I'm saying in simple terms. But if you have to choose between both of them, being friendly and being respected, please choose being respected. So what are our key takeaways for this episode? I want you to know again, it's a reminder, I've said it before, the shift from doing to leading is not a promotion, it is a transformation in how you think about your role, your success, and where you put your best energy. As a leader, your value is measured by what your team produce, not what you produce personally. Your value is measured by what your team produces, not what you produce personally. The behavior that made you an excellent individual contributor, doing the work, taking control, solving problems, will work against you as a leader if you do not deliberately redirect them. They work against you. So instead of taking control, you help people to solve the problem, to do the things. Instead of doing, you start leading. Change your daily scorecard. Measure yourself by what you enable, by who you enable, not what you completed. Who you enable, not what you completed. And I want you to remember, you can see I put it for emphasis. A coach who keeps running onto the pitch to take the shot is not coaching. What are they doing? You are undermining the team. You are undermining the team. So what do I expect you to do this week for this episode to add value to you? Identify one task that is currently sitting on your desk that belongs to a member of your team. Identify it. Hand it over, not with a rush brief, with a clear explanation of what good look like, why it matters, what support you will provide as they work through it. Then step back. Let them work. Resist the urge to take it back. At the end of the week, review it with them. Give specific feedback. Celebrate what they did right before you address what could be improved. One task, one handover, 1 week within the next 1 week. This is how the shift begins. In conclusion, I want you to know that the most valuable leaders are not the ones who do the most work. They are the ones who build the most capable teams. Every great team you have ever admired, every high-performing unit in government, in corporate setting, or even in the development sector was led by someone who understood making this shift, who understood that the most valuable worker are the ones who build the most capable, rather, the most valuable leaders are the ones who build the most capable teams. Their greatest contribution was not the work they did, it was the people they developed and the environment they created for those people to thrive. That is who you are becoming. At the end of this series, if you take the necessary action. Thank you very much for your time, but I want to ask for a favor. If you have learned anything new in this episode, please like it, share it so that other people too can benefit from it. Especially if you know someone who has just been promoted to a team lead, a supervisor, a manager, whatever the title is, please share with them. And if you even know people who are currently team leads, manager, supervisor, also share with them. I'm sure they will learn one or two things from it. Next Friday is another week with weekend learning with Transaid. We are going to be looking at giving feedback that lands. Simply how to give feedback that people actually hear, take seriously, and act on. If you lead people, don't miss that episode. So turn on your notification and I will see you next Friday. Thank you very much for your time.